This is horrible. This is painful. And this is humiliating for any human being.
Is she able to pay a $10.4 million judgment?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
And no surprise here, all of Amber's friends have turned their backs on her after the trial.
Guys, I think Amber Heard is about to get deleted from Aquaman 2.
Amber Heard is close to losing everything she has made in her career and more. And as you can expect, the actress is not taking it very well.
Guys, I think Amber Heard is about to get deleted from Aquaman 2.
It's not just the appeal that she is about to lose, but also her role in Aquaman 2. Things have gotten so bad now that she's in Europe on the run and is even claiming to be homeless. Is she really going to lose everything? Stick with us. We have all the deets for you today. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial ended with Johnny exiting the courts with his head held high, whereas Amber was presented with a devastating $10.3 million in damages.
Is she able to pay a $10.4 million judgment?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Even her attorneys aren't so sure if she can pay back such a huge sum to Johnny. Amber cannot pay Johnny the money back, so the only thing left to do was to appeal in court, which she did. In fact, it was clear that Amber Heard would appeal the verdict the moment Johnny Depp won his defamation case against her. But just filing an appeal doesn't always mean you have the choice of winning. Experts think filing the appeal might have been the right strategic move, but it wasn't likely to be successful. One expert explained that the difficulty in an appeal is not only proving the court erred, but also that the error caused a big enough error that the verdict was likely impacted. In short, that is rare and unlikely in this case. This means Amber is all set to have another major loss in the court. But mind you, that's not her only concern at the moment. In fact, there are some even bigger problems to solve, or in her case, flee from. Amber is now on a run from 2 insurance companies that are looking to sue her. They want nothing to do with her now that she's legally obliged to pay Johnny $10 million. The companies have taken the matter to court to settle this once and for all, that they aren't required to cover the $10 million as part of Amber's verdict. What's more, they even want to sue Amber for defaming Johnny and getting all this mess started in the first place. You'd think at this point Amber would be too tired to play any games and escape her fate, but that's not what's happening. Amber knows she's about to lose everything, and she is scrambling to say the least. In the latest news, she's decided one way to deal with lawsuits by the insurance companies is to tell them she has no money or country. Amber Heard has declared herself stateless to avoid the insurance litigation. She has no domicile in any country. She is legally homeless. How would that help her, you might ask? Well, Amber is using all her brain power to try and get out of this mess. She decided to sell her California home and move to Spain. A lot of people thought that this was to pay what she owed Johnny, but they were completely wrong. Amber wants to avoid the legal case against the insurance companies by pretending to not belong to any state. It's a sly and smart move, but it isn't going to work for long. Such a loophole will only buy her a little time.
As is often the case with Amber Heard, all you need to do to spot the defects in her legal reasoning is to look at the law that she relies on, claiming that it supports her, and quite often you will find that indeed it does not.
She doesn't have any good defense against the company's lawsuit, and sooner or later, she's going to have to face the court. You might think that's all that Amber is struggling with at the moment, but boy, are you wrong. Her career is in shambles and quite possibly finished. Amber Heard enjoyed one of the biggest roles of her career when she was cast as Mira in Warner Bros. Aquaman. Looks like this happiness isn't going to last any longer for Amber. She is going to lose her role in the franchise and will no longer be returning as Mira in the sequel. Amber Heard has been replaced by another actor whose identity is being kept under wraps in the film titled Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Amber has lost not just one of her biggest roles, but also a chance to make herself a fortune. The first Aquaman movie profited big on the Hollywood scene, earning over $1 billion in its screening all over the world. Amber also earned millions from the movie, but now that she has been cut from the next movie, her dream of earning big money from the franchise is over. That too at a time like this, where she's already struggling to pay her legal dues. It's a huge loss for Amber that a huge production house like Warner Bros. Has cut her off. After Amber Heard files for appeal in court and gets rejected, as it probably will, the actress will have almost no possibility of making a comeback. Amber was once considered the most beautiful actress in Hollywood. Producers and directors were dying to cast her in their projects because of how well liked she was by the audience, thanks to her picture-perfect face. But the tide has turned completely for the actress.
Out, and no surprise here, all of Amber's friends have turned their backs on her after the trial.
Her friends and family have turned their backs on her, and so have her fans, a Twitter user wrote. The only person who's destroyed Amber Heard's career is Amber Heard. She single-handedly did that by verbally and physically abusing her partners, plural, stealing another woman's story, lying about donating to sick children, and making it more difficult for actual victims. Support isn't the only thing she has lost. Any career opportunities in the future seem like a fantasy that is not going to come true. Amber knows this too, because a source close to the actress said that the Hollywood career of the Aquaman actress is over. She's now struggling to make ends meet and doing everything she can to make some money. She's even thinking of writing a book and using the profits to pay off some of the millions of dollars she now owes Johnny. It's pretty obvious that all the companies want to steer clear of Amber Heard. She has such a bad reputation now that working with her will only mean inviting backlash. Her agent said, "No one is going to say to me, they just don't want to hire someone that has bad press around them from these accusations. No one wants somebody who's being accused of being a liar and making something up and abusing somebody. No one wants that association with her project." Amber is devastated by now the trial has ended. It has essentially left her empty-handed, to the point where she now had to sell her home and flee the country. Her series of misfortunes are far from over as she takes her appeal up in court. Very soon, Amber is going to once again face Johnny Depp in court and try to revert the $10 million verdict. But the chances of that happening are very slim.
I'm not. This is horrible. This is painful. And this is humiliating for any human being.
There are much higher chances of her further adding to her own humiliation. People don't have a lot of sympathy for Amber. In fact, most of them are really happy that Amber is facing the consequences of her false accusations, and that Johnny is finally thriving after being successful in the court of law. One Twitter user compared how Johnny was enjoying success after success in his career after the trial, whereas Amber was homeless, unemployed, and broke. Some people even think that Amber losing all this isn't enough. One person wrote, "Johnny Depp deserves the biggest apology ever from media outlets and those that try to paint him as the abuser before a court found him innocent. Trial by media is never fair. Everyone that tried to tarnish his image should apologize. Amber Heard should be in jail." Amber Heard has lost it all in her legal battle against Johnny Depp. She is angry at the court for this verdict and will take it up in her appeal, but people are angrier at her lies. It's clear that people are done with her for good, and her career is now unsalvageable. Now that Amber's career in life in the public eye is over, we can't help but wonder who did it. The answer is pretty obvious. She did it to herself. And now her pleading to be given back her word and her respect is only going to be useless. Amber Heard almost had it all: a Hollywood career, a husband who would have given her everything, and now she has absolutely nothing and by her own lying self. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.